Well, hey, Bart with Bicycle Rider YouTube, and I just got done taking the AMIA or AIMA Santa Monica e-bike out for a test ride. I am in my bicycle shop, Biloxi Bicycle Works, Biloxi, Mississippi. This is a real brick and mortar bike shop. This is how I make my living. This is how my employees make their living. I've got to be really careful of what I sell out of my bike shop. I bought this old building in downtown Biloxi, and I have to be here 17 plus years to make it last. I sell brands like Trek. We got Townie. Back here, of course, I'm BMX room. I've got some of the SE BMX bikes. There's a lot of really good YouTube reviewers out there, especially reviewing a lot of these e-bikes. A lot of them will go through all your specs and componentry, but and those guys are great because sometimes I'm going to skip some of that stuff or just kind of go over that quickly. What I am is an e-bike mechanic. I have an e-bike repair facility and I repair e-bikes that a lot of them are the direct consumer brand e-bikes that people are buying. This is a direct competitor to that, but yet it supports bike shops. I'm very careful about what I sell out of Biloxi Bicycle Works because I have to be here for a long time. And I can't still sell stuff that is not supported, that doesn't support bike shops. Look at some of my reviews. I've got definitely some opinions on direct consumer bikes. And a lot of that is because of real world, this is what I deal with as a living. And I'm finding out that I get myself into the middle of some situations with direct consumer bikes that really aren't doing me any favor. Now, I get contacted by e-bike companies all the time to sell their bikes since I am a brick and mortar shop. But most of the time I squash those conversations because I find out that they're just a warehouse, a website. Some investors got together and put 4,000 of these. They got them in from China and they're selling these things. But when those 4,000 are gone, so is the company. And I can't have that because I need to be here for years to come. So when I met Sally, and I do know her by first name basis, the rep that came by to tell me about these things, I said, those are great looking e-bikes, but I can't sell them because you guys just don't give support. I don't know if you're going to be around for a while. But after talking with Sally and doing research on the company, I found out they're one of the biggest manufacturer of electric mobility vehicles in the world. They use Bafang parts, and I'm going to get the rest of the story, but they work directly with Bafang. It looks like they're either very close to the factory or in the same factory. And that makes me feel better that they are using name brand Bafang motors, wiring harnesses, controllers. It's a Bafang controller, and they're using LG cells, so the name brand cells. So these are the LG 21700s. So it's the same type of cell that they're using in Tesla automobiles. I'm very picky when people drop off their direct-to-consumer bikes to get repaired. We're mainly working on the bicycle componentry of those bikes, not the motors. I have them take their batteries out. They cannot leave their batteries in my repair facility when they drop off their bikes. So I worked a lifetime to own a bike shop, and I'm not going to get it burnt down because of cheap batteries. When I see something that's got an LG cell in it, a genuine LG, Sanyo, or Panasonic cell, that makes me feel much better. This bike has a battery in it, and it's in my shop. I trust this battery, and that should give you at home that are buying these things that are concerned about batteries, and you should be concerned about batteries. There's a lot of things you should be concerned about if you're buying these from the internet, from a website, from direct to consumer. They're sending it directly to your house, and you're supposed to assemble these things. They're supposed to come 90% assembled. I see the problems these bikes are coming out of the crate. Sometimes with shipping damage, they get bumped around, or just the way that they are put in there in the first place, where derailleur limit screws aren't set properly, and you're going 28 miles an hour, and the chain jumps off the rear cassette and locks up the back tire, and it causes an accident or damage to the bike. That's just one case scenario. I see a lot of loose headsets. I see a lot of stuff that's wrong out of the box. When AMIA or AIMA sends these bikes to us, there's a protocol that my certified bicycle technicians go through, and people say you can put these things together in 5 minutes. Not in my shop. We check bolts, we torque things, we make sure bearings are greased. And when we're building these AIMAs, we're actually really impressed with the way that they're coming out from the factory. But then us as bikes mechanics in Biloxi, Mississippi, they care about our customers, go through and go the extra mile and make sure things are correct. We'll even re-torque your, most of these wheels are made on a machine. I've got my guys hand torquing spokes and make sure everything is tensioned correctly. So, and that's what bike shops do. Bike shops, if you buy these from a bike shop, you're probably going to pay a little bit more now, but a lot less later. And in the end, a lot of bike shops are stopping work on consumer direct bikes. I've been against that, but the more I work on consumer direct bikes, the more I find that it just gets me into trouble. It loses me money and gives me a bad reputation. So there's gonna be someday when we all band together and just stop working on stuff that's bought consumer direct. Then people will stop buying consumer direct. It is hurting my profession as a professional bike shop owner. But let me go back to the Santa Monica. So there's only 2 brands of e-bikes that I'll sell out of here that have a hub drive motor and a throttle. I sell a lot of this. I sell a lot of Electra. Electra is a Townie. This is a Townie Cruiser Go. There's no throttle on this, and it has a 250 watt motor, 250 amp hour battery. Very low spec compared to like the Santa Monica with a 720 watt hour battery and a 750 watt motor. This is a high powered e-bike that can go 28 miles an hour. A lot of this stuff I won't sell out of my shop. Aventon and now AIMA are the only 2 brands, and believe me, I've been contacted by hundreds of brands to sell out of my shop, and I won't do it. I'd rather sell nothing. I'd rather sell nothing than products that are going to come back and cost me money. If I send a product out of the door, an e-bike out of the door off of my front porch, people know they can go back to my front porch when they have a problem. If they come back to my front porch more than 2 or 3 times and my mechanics have to work on that bike, adjust the brakes or derailleurs or things that sometimes people live with consumer direct bikes, it costs me money. There's not a whole lot of margin in these bikes for me. So I need them to go out and stay out. I need customers to be happy and give me a good reputation. I need customers to enjoy e-bike life and tell their friends so their friends come in and buy from me. And on the consumer direct bikes, it seems like people are getting a bad taste in their mouth for my whole industry. Not just the particular brand, but they think the whole industry is out to get them. Some of them are. They're out to get your money with cheap crap. Be careful what you buy. Buy from a bike shop. Buy from a bike shop that's going to be around for a while, not a fly-by-night place. Bike shops are hurting financially right now. I could probably make a whole lot of money quick by selling cheap e-bikes off my front porch, and that's going to come back to bite me in the ass. If I didn't care, probably be a way to make a quick money grab. But I've got to be here for the long haul. I sell a lot of bicycles. I'm in the bicycle business. I sell stuff like this. This is a Trek Top Fuel mountain bike. This is a $5,500 bike. It's got the new SRAM GX transmission. This is the kind of stuff that my mechanics were used to working on until the last couple of years. Now we're having to work on a lot of e-bikes. This is AIMA's logo. This is actually the Big Sur Sport in blue. This is the Santa Monica. There's a lot of really cool things about this bike. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm just going to go over some of the highlights really quick. I really like these tires. This is a 650B and it's a nice and wide tire. So it's a 650 by 2.6. Much wider tire than I see a lot of these bikes. So a lot of them are coming out with a 700C wheel and like a 50 millimeter tire. To me, that's too small for real world applications. Now this is really cool with this Santa Monica here. I'm seeing this has a through axle, so I'm guessing it's a 15 millimeter through axle. That's much better than your 5 millimeter QR quick release. Good bottom brackets, good sealed bottom brackets. Shimano Altless derailleur. Shimano, when I'm looking at this, Shimano Hyperglide cassette. It actually says Shimano on it. It's not junk. We get a lot of cassettes that are junk. 203 millimeter brake rotors. That's super important. And of course, this is the new Bafang Slim motor. The Slim motor is also hooked to your wiring harness. Tektro hydraulic disc brakes means a lot. There's a lot of unbranded brakes coming off, you know, this direct consumer bikes. People are looking at price point. People don't know what they're looking at when they're looking at specs. They're looking at how big's the motor, how big's the battery. There's a lot more that goes into this bicycle. When you're going 28 miles an hour, believe me, you want brakes that have a brand name on it that I can bleed as a bicycle shop. Let me just quickly tell you that I think this bike rules this category at the moment. And I can say this honestly because I see 100 e-bikes a week come through my shop, all different makes and models. My building next door, that's what we do. We're turning into an e-bike repair facility rather than just a bicycle repair facility. And we're starting to turn down a lot of that type of work because that's a whole nother video. But just know I will work on this bike. It actually has name brand parts that I recognize in the bicycle industry that I've worked on for a long time. And the computer controlled components, the Bafang, look at that, Bafang motor hooked to a Bafang wiring harness that's hooked to a Bafang controller that's hooked to a name brand cell. That means a lot to me as an e-bike mechanic. Believe me, it's rock solid stuff that's going to work. The frame itself is a high quality aluminum frame, and it's single butted, so and it's nice and smooth welds. The paint job, the machining, the fenders are nice and tight. This is a good bike. I will sell this out of my bike shop. This is what's called the Santa Monica. This one's the Big Sur Sport. And as I go around the corner here, I have the Santa Monica in a white and tan. Now, I don't have a ton of these bikes right now. Supply is slim on these things, and people are finding out they'd rather buy from a bike shop than an internet-based company. So if you're driving from out of state to come to Biloxi Bicycle Works to look at e-bikes, just know I don't have a whole lot on the floor. I've got plenty of these things ordered, so I will have them in the future. I'm going to keep testing these things. I'm going to keep working on them. But just know this is my profession, and I take it seriously. And I see my profession getting belittled on YouTube and belittled by customers walking in buying consumer direct bikes that have no direction, people on the wrong size bikes. So anyway, I'm going to do a whole lot more on AIMA. Obviously, I'm selling them out of my bike shop, so I believe in them. And one thing that means I can hold AIMA accountable. Bike shops are going to hold the manufacturers accountable if we see problems. It's hard for a customer to hold a company accountable because you don't have a voice. I have a voice with this company, and this company has a voice with me. So just know, out of all the branded e-bikes right now, there's only two that I sell that have a hub drive motor and a throttle. That is Aventon, and Aventon has gotten really big really quick. They're not giving me quite the customer support I'd like. Still a good product that I'll sell off my porch. It's a big brand, and they have put together a good product. So I'm not saying anything bad about Aventon. I'm just saying that some of my warranty claims are dragging on that stuff. And moving parts are going to have warranty. So just know if you've got bearings and you've got a lot of moving parts. Now, what seems to be solid are motor, controller, and batteries. Those are the big questions people have. It's the bicycle components and how you use those bicycle components. This is a rock solid bike. But you can tear it up just like you can tear up anything else. If you buy from a bike shop, we're going to tell you how to take care of the maintenance on it. We're going to tell you how to ride it. We're going to tell you some of the tricks to make these things last a long time. So just know I'm going to be doing a whole lot more on AIMA. I don't want questions from all over the world. You can send me questions on YouTube. Just know I am running a busy bike shop, so I can't, I barely have time to make these videos. I'll answer the questions as I can. If you're interested in buying, come get on the wait list. Get on it quickly, because as soon as these things come in, they go pretty quickly. We do have e-bike tariffs that have come out, so these things have gone up a couple $100. And believe me, they needed to. They're being sold too cheap. This is still under $2,000, which to me is a bargain for everything you get. We spent that mountain bike I showed you a little bit ago was a $5,000 mountain bike. We sell $1,000 carbon wheels. You get a lot of bike for $2,000 when you're looking at something like this. But you can buy $1,000 e-bikes. They pop up on my Google feed all the time. Believe me, they'll end up in the bike shop and they'll end up in the landfill. Buy something of quality. Spend a little bit more, and I'm not saying a whole lot more. To me, $2,000 for this bike is an absolute bargain. people who realize that are coming to my shop and they're ordering these things. So I will put you on a waiting list, and I will keep good contact. I'd rather see people buy this and have a good opinion of e-bikes than buy junk and talk bad about e-bikes. I think e-bikes are going to change transportation. They're going to change the world. But you have to buy a quality e-bike for that to happen. I'm going to keep putting these to the test. I'm going to keep putting the company AIMA to the test. And I'm going to keep contact with my customers who I ride bikes with on a regular basis and get feedback from them. More on AIMA. This is how you spell it. Sometimes I call it AMIA. I'm in Biloxi, Mississippi. I'm not Chinese. I love Chinese people, but I sometimes have trouble with the pronunciation of how that all works. But I believe it's AIMA Santa Monica. The white, I think, with the tan wall is really cool. But anyway, this video is getting kind of long. Bartwell Bicycle Rider YouTube. If you like what we do on this channel, just likes and subscribe. And like I said, I am an e-bike mechanic. I'll work on other brands, so I'm going to report problems with other brands, and I'm going to report whatever happens with the AIMAs. But so far, so good. I will sell them out of my bike shop, and that means a lot because this is how I make my living, and this is how I plan on making my living for a long time. Bicycle mechanics, bicycle shops aren't making much money. You know, I was an accountant, and I did it much better financially as an accountant. But I love what I do. I love getting people on bikes. But I want to continue getting people on good bikes, not junk like I see walk through here all the time. Believe me, I've had 10, 12 customers today pulling up with bikes on the back of their pickup trucks or their motorhomes, and they're desperate to get these things fixed because they can't get customer service from their internet-based company, or other bike shops won't work on them. I'm out of space. I'm in a 116-year-old building. I've got to turn down a lot of these jobs because I know I can't get parts quickly. I know I can't get support from their company. If you buy from my porch, I'm going to take care of you. If you buy a name brand bike, I'm going to take care of you. If you come in with some high bike or something kind of weird that I know historically I'd have problems getting parts and stuff for, I can't take the bike because of space, and I am going to ask a deposit on that kind of stuff. So buy from bike shops. Well, for one, I want this profession to survive. People don't want, you can't take these back to a department store. We are your safety net. If you buy a bike from the consumer direct companies, they're usually based somewhere else away from you. They have to ship that bike to you. You need a local bike shop to bring those to, so be kind to your local bike shop. It seems like people that buy consumer direct e-bikes cheap are the only customers that come in complaining and grumpy. I feel sorry for, because they're probably having to deal with customer service and stuff. But be kind to your bike shop. Be kind to your bike mechanic. If you talk to us nicely, we'll do our best to help you out. But if you come in here with demands and want to be cheap with us, then I'm sorry, but I don't have to fix your bikes. I would rather work on that. I'd rather work on these. I'd rather work on this. I have plenty of work that's not heavy. E-bikes are heavy. I have to buy a special lift. I like working on stuff that's 20, 25 pounds. I can put it up on a lift, and I'm familiar with this stuff. You bring in stuff, look at that, man. That's an awesome Trek fat bike. You bring in stuff that you bought off the internet that has unnamed parts and there's a big question mark. Question marks cost money. I'd rather work on stuff that I can turn and burn and get back to my customers to keep everybody happy. If you're bringing in some unbranded e-bike with some unbranded motor, believe me, I don't have a plug-in. I don't have parts to fix it. They don't give me any schematics. They don't give me plugs so I can plug it into a computer and diagnose it. Buy Bafang. Buy AIMA. Stick with your bike shop. Buy from your bike shop. We're going to point you in the right direction. Bike shop people care about you. We want people to be comfortable on their bikes. I wouldn't sell AIMA if I had any doubt that they were a crappy product, because I don't want crappy products walking back up onto my porch. Bart from Bicycle Rider YouTube. I am a real person, Bart Luther, on social media. I own Biloxi Bicycle Works in downtown Biloxi, Mississippi. I'm trying to keep my bike shop alive. I try to treat people right and do the right thing. And I want to convey information to people out there on YouTube so you don't make bad decisions with $1,000 items. All right, more to come, more e-bike stories to come. I've got some work to do so I can finish up my day. Bart from Bicycle Ride YouTube, over and out.